Hello everyone, welcome back. So today we're going to be playing Fiddlesticks and we'll be facing off against the Fiddlesticks adventure from the Nightmares campaign because I have nothing else to do. They haven't released new content yet. So I figured I should bully Fiddlesticks with my own Fiddlesticks since I haven't really done that before. I figured this is going to be pretty easy. Fiddlesticks is a rather strong champion, especially with this setup. You have the armless scarecrow for the stats and the overwhelm to close out the game. Once you whittle down the opponent's deck, you have the shock and awe, so you can proc the terrify from the nowhere safe pretty consistently. And then I have Stalker's Blade because the last slot can be literally anything and it will be fine. Let's get to it. Spellburn, a natural selection, proper offerings. Obviously it's Spellburn. Nowhere is safe when you deal damage to the opponent's nexus. The opponent terrifies one, so the more instances of damage we can get, the better. It's also why the shock and awe is good, because combined with a bunch of 1-drops you just deal a bunch of small instances of damage to the opponent's nexus. And that in turn translates to a bunch of Terrify, which thanks to the legendary power, the Bountiful Harvest just converts into a bunch of stats. This is actually a pretty weak hand. We didn't really get any of our 1-drops. Is there a point to attacking here? I suppose so. If he blocks, I was about to say, if he blocks with one of the twisted catalyzers, that will be fine, but I'll just take the trade. It's okay as well. All just so I can debuff those twisted catalyzers, even if it's just a little bit. If we can prevent them from striking, that would be nice as well. It would reduce the amount of damage the opponent's darkness deals. Yeah, I take damage here, but it's alright. Maybe I should have taken the opponent's pass, but I really wanted to get some damage through to the opponent's nexus so I can keep up the pressure from the Terrify. Our hand is a bit weak. We have run out of steam basically. So we're kind of relying on what we can get from the Terrifies to close out the game here. Okay, that's fine. I'll pass the priority back to the opponent. Maybe, I was about to say, maybe I can get him to place something additional here so I can get more value out of the Crow Storm. And turns out I can do that. It's also going to be interesting. Normally with Fiddlesticks you just purchase a bunch of 1-drops and try to get 1-drops whenever possible. But you also want to keep your deck pretty consistently lean, so you can be aggressive. So against the Fiddlesticks and the Evelyn, I'm incentivized to have a large deck instead of a smaller one. So it will be interesting to see how the deck plays when you're not getting that consistency. The Mage Seeker is a 1-drop, but Lux and Remembrance are a bad spell and a bad card. But Ziggs is interesting because it does deal 1 instance of damage to the opponent's nexus whenever he attacks. And he has Scout, which is pretty cool. But I don't really see it. Let's reroll once. We have 60 rerolls, might as well use them. Ooh! Fizz with heavy hands, and he is a 1-drop. Okay, I'm picking up the fizz. Double Trouble summons to 1-drops. The crawl creatures is meh, but whatever. What's important is the fact that our champion will be a 1-drop too. So that way we can start proccing the Shock and Awe a bit more. Spells chest, and all I have to face off is the Vicious Mockery. When the foe summons a unit, grant gloom to the player's units with less power than it. This might be a bit risky, because we do want to play some smaller units at the beginning of the game, and then we grow them with the Terrifies. But we're playing Fiddlesticks, so we're going to be pretty strong no matter what. At least that's what I would like to think. And therefore we won't really need to think about what we're doing. The opponent started off pretty strongly. Fortunately they didn't play any of the what's it called? Is it Vicious Mockery? The 2-drop that grants gloom to the first unit the opponent plays. Honestly, I just want to do this. I'll refrain from attacking with the fizz, because I don't want to lose this fizz quite yet. But this will be nice. We'll Terrify 3 here. I'll keep the fizz in my hand as a backup in case he has removal. Right. The opponent's deck has the stack deck on the what's it called? The Vexus champion spell. So theoretically you can just not be decked out by me playing cards and dealing damage to his Nexus. But it appears that won't happen because I'll just kill him this turn. Unless he has a way to survive this. Of course he doesn't. This is just too much pressure. We kind of hit a nuts hand with a 2 1-drops followed by the summon 2 1-drops, the 3 mana spell. And we hit some nice Terrifies as well. Hothead, Shum the Waters, let's reroll. Preferably I would like to get a 1-drop. But I suppose I'll take Ardent Sensor just because it's a decent enough card. And I don't want to spend all of my rerolls there. All of these are atrocious. But I want to pick up something here. Let's reroll once. Bouncing Bomb. Sealing Steel. Deal 2 to a unit or 1 to 2 enemies. It summons a 1-drop, so I suppose I'll take it. The Dread. Thalassophobia. Let's go for the Dread. The Thalassophobia encounter can be pretty hard to deal with. I want to keep the fizz on the board. So having the Thalassophobia encounter with the constant list spam might be a bit difficult to achieve our objective of keeping fizz on the board. Let's just pass priority. Let the opponent play the Death's Grasp cultists he had in hand so that fizz doesn't get a attack reduction. Let's do this. I'll actually use the Reap here. Deals 2 to the opponent's Nexus, or 2 instances of damage, and gives Fizz the elusive keywords so that I can attack safely with him, deal even more instances of damage to the opponent's Nexus, and in turn I Terrify a bunch here. Which translates into a very large Fizz. Now I shouldn't really need to worry about the curses. Oh, that's a bug. These two are overlapping. Well, I just won't play the curse at all then. Do I pass priority? I'll pass priority back to the opponent. I can afford to do so. I'll waste some mana. But it's okay. Ooh. There's the Fiddlesticks. Good to see you. But it will probably not be that relevant. Because we're closing out the game here. The opponent doesn't really like that fizz, huh? But fortunately the fizz is so large, even with all this attack reduction, he still managed to get through an attack and we kill the opponent. Okay, finally we'll actually have a bit of a challenge. The Elise encounter should be a bit harder to deal with than everything up until this point. I'll take the reunited, sure. When I count down, summon a 1-cost follower. Nah, I want my 1-cost followers immediately, not after a while. I really want to cut the bouncing bomb for the sake of consistency. But on the other hand, if I do end up going multiple rounds against Fiddlesticks, the extra cards might be relevant, just as a way to buffer my inevitable death by decking out. But we aren't really generating a lot of cards, so perhaps we don't really need to worry about decking ourselves out through card generation. This is a strong start from the opponent. A full board of spiders followed by an immediate Elise level up, and he steals my arachnoid horrors. I can't even properly play the fizz. Guess I do have an option here. Can go fizz plunder poro. Like so. Then I'll attack with the plunder poro. Try to deal some damage to the opponent's nexus. This is at least 3 instances of damage. So I need to hope that I hit something good. Yep. That's some pretty decent hits on the Terrify targets. Let's do double trouble, sure. Because it terrifies something immediately. That's a -1/-1 across the board. Those are some rather weak hits though. Fireth allows the opponent to attack through quite easily. And it doesn't even last until the next turn. Well, at least most of the opponent's board is gone, and that includes the Elise. So even if my hand is pretty empty, I shouldn't have to worry about anything. Next turn I'll just Crowstorm whatever he summons onto the board. Let's see if he can even summon something that can properly contest my board. I don't think there's anything that saves him at this point. And we've just milled the last few Elises he had in the deck. So now he can't even use Challenger to clear the board. I'll take the pass. Let's just put this guy out of his misery. Nice. Maybe the real challenge will be Fiddlesticks. It will have 99 health, won't he? So he's definitely going to survive more than 2 turns. Spell shield regeneration, spirit stone. Let's pick up the spell shield regeneration for the Fizz. Fiddlesticks will always be shuffled into the opponent's deck as a nightmare. Ooh, stacked against them. That's perfect in this adventure. Survive the night, Pale Death. The problem with going for the survive the night encounter is that we can't really deal damage to the opponent's Nexus. On the other hand, Pale Death is also hard to deal with, but I think Pale Death is easier to play through than the Survive the Night. Survive the Night would be kind of hard because we wouldn't be able to hit the Terrifies as consistently. Skip the Double Trouble. I'll probably draw Fizz. No, it's guaranteed I draw Fizz at the start of the game. Unlike most champions, the Fiddlesticks deck is one where you're guaranteed to get your support champion instead of your actual champion at the start. What's Ruinous Acolyte? It's not a 1-drop, so I don't care. I can get a bunch of 1-drops here by going for the Double Trouble. Might just do that instead of the Fizz, just because this translates into more actual damage to the opponent's Nexus, or more instances of damage, which is all that we want. We want instances of damage. Ooh. That was rather early. Normally the Fiddlesticks is further down the deck, so when you do actually hit him, he is already leveled up. Let's do this. Summon some more 1-drops. Use the Fist to strike the opponent's deck. Formless Blade. That does nothing for us, unfortunately. The opponent did manage to deal 5 damage to my Nexus. Unfortunately for him, I can pretty easily just restore that. Let's do False Friend, sure. It's one more 1-drop. We don't kill him here, but we're dealing a bunch of instances of damage. Well, maybe not, because the opponents just removed one of the instances of damage from this guy, the impact there. Still, the opponent's incredibly close to just dying from deck out. Let's just do this to add a couple more instances of damage to the pile. We have Spellburn after all, so we are kind of incentivized to play some spells. And that's a lot of cards burned. He still has that Ruination in hand, so we might play it here. Yep. And he has exactly enough damage to kill us. That's the problem. That's what I was worried about. If we don't actually kill the opponent right away, it just does that. And we lose because there's no way we have enough health to survive through the amount of burn he can dish out with a single Ruination. So we need to deal... So we need to not overcommit onto the board, but at the same time we want stuff on board in order to put pressure on him. So maybe instead of going for a wide board, I should just fall back onto the plan of playing multiple units, or trying to play multiple units. Let's do false friend. That's a nice card to get. I'll do fizz and rip. That should be enough. Let's do grip here. Debuff those two. That way they won't be able to block the false friend. He kills his own unit. He's setting up so that he can kill me with the ruination. This is going to be a bunch of hits from the Terrify. So I can't play anything else. At least I don't want to play any other units. So that I don't overcommit onto the board. The problem is most of my stuff either summons a unit or something along those lines. I should be able to do this because it's... Now let's do the Dread Harvester instead. It's a larger unit. It's a better hit anyway. Okay, that's fine. He still has 3 mana. I'm actually going to do this. Deal 1 to 2 enemies. Deals 1 to his nexus. Ooh, that fizzles the spell. Interesting. Didn't realize that would happen. He's killing his own unit yet again to deny me the damage. Well, at least now we have a significantly smaller board, so he doesn't straight up kill me with the ruination. Not unless I just hit all of the nightmares I have in the opponent's deck. Well, he's still a bit off because he didn't save spell mana this time. So maybe the correct choice is, yeah, just pull the trigger, kill the opponent with Terrifies instead of damage, like that. Okay. Turns out I still need to think about what I'm doing, because there is a way for the opponents to punish me if I'm not careful. This is a 6.5 star adventure after all. Philosopher's Stone, make it rain. Let's pick up the Plunder Poro. It's a 1-drop. Sickening Plunge, Creeping Hatred. Normally I would go for the shop, but the Sickening Plunge is a very scary encounter because if I don't kill him by turn 7, I just lose. So let's do this. So you can go for the Creeping Hatred. At least against this guy I know I have an advantage, because in this entire game plan revolves around developing a board and then proceeding to replace it with the invasive Hydra Vine. But all I need to do is just kill the invasive Hydra Vines and his ward, and then he'll be left with nothing. This is actually a very good hand. Can go Fizz, then play double Plunder Poros into Stylish Shot. Okay, that does nothing because fortunately my Fizz had Spell Shield. See, turns out picking up the Spell Shield on the Fizz was the correct choice. Even though it might seem redundant since Fizz has that extra survivability from his effect. And now we have a full hand of cards that we're going to promptly use to just kill the opponent next turn. I might not even kill the opponent, I might just terrify him to death. We lost so many cards this round. Yeah, I think that's the game plan. We'll just Stylish Shot into Stylish Shot. Level up Fizz, but it's not going to matter. What really matters is Bouncing Bomb. Yeah, sure, I'll hit 2 there. Let's say okay. What I want is the extra damage. Ooh, you're attacking, really? That doesn't seem really that productive. You're just losing your units to my units with regeneration. Maybe the opponent knows he will die this turn. That's -5, -4. Ooh, he actually survives with 1 card left in his deck. And there it goes. I would like a shop before the Fiddlesticks, but I don't think I'll hit one. Thieves' Gloves on the double trouble. Sure. It's better than the other choices anyway. Champion item chest. Eclectic collection. Doubling dice. Stress defense is interesting. Let's roll. No. Grifter's deck on the double trouble. I'll take it. It can be a nice backup so that we have an extra buffer of cards. Ooh. Crystal Carrier, Quick Strike Blade, Dragon's Tooth. I'm actually going to get this. 1 extra mana from might not be or might not seem like it's that much, but it can add up. And we ended up buffing our support champion more than our main champion. That's a bit surprising. It's mostly because Fizz is a 1-drop. If Fizz wasn't a 1-drop, I wouldn't be so inclined to spend as many resources on it. This is a rather weak hand. I might just go double trouble thrice, because this double trouble will reduce the cost of this following double trouble. And then I can actually go Fizz double trouble. I think I'll do that, because that way we can give Fizz elusive. Well then, back to the game plan of triple double trouble. Then, at the very least we end up filling our entire board with units. And we get a bunch of copies of double trouble into the deck. Let's stop the opponent from casting that. The opponent's got to just burn all of his deck here. I mean, look at all these instances of damage we're dishing to the opponent's Nexus. Okay, so -5, 10, 14. Just like that. And in turn he burns 10 of my own cards. But fortunately my deck is larger than his. Can even go for a Fiddlesticks here. That's fine. I don't even care that the opponent's restoring health. His health isn't really a concern. Sure, let's play the Fiddlesticks. It will get the opponent to use whatever removal he has in hand against it. Or maybe the opponent just doesn't have removal in hand. He's still burning more than I'm burning. But his deck is definitely smaller than mine. So even if I don't kill him here, I'm definitely dealing enough instances of damage to get through. And kill him by decking out. Let's just do that. Empty my hand a little bit. Burn a couple more cards. And game over. I was just more terrifying than the opponent, it seems. Oh. Well, that was nice and quick. So yeah, that will be it for today. Thank you so much for watching. This is a weird skin. Whatever. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye. Till then.